Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Monday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there. Join the militia. The Syracuse Orange make adjustments after an awful first half of basketball to pull out a 76-73 comeback win against the Wolfpack, improving to 10-5 and 4-4 in the ACC. You'll hear from us, and we'll hear from you in fan feedback. And Syracuse will host Louisville in the Dome at 7 o'clock this Wednesday night. We'll tell you what we think about that. Syracuse moves to 47th in the net and 51st in the KenPom rankings. So, for what it's worth, that's that. Not making a ton of budge there. So,
no.
In fact, we slipped. Right? Didn't we?
A little bit.
Yeah. So, anyways, that'll work itself out eventually. So,
yeah.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. A little bit of football news to come up. Then we will get into your coach montage and the good, the bad, the ugly. First, McKinley Williams, he's going to take advantage of the extra year of eligibility and return for the 2021 football season. We've been waiting on this one for a while. He played in all 11 games last year. He racked up 35 tackles, 8 for a loss, and 1 sack. Also, Melifonwu, he had 2 pass breakups and 3 tackles and some solid play at the Senior Bowl. And also, Trill Williams was invited to the NFL Combine. And one more thing. Oh, we got the sign-in day stuff too, right, Joe? So
Yeah, well, obviously we were waiting on McKinley Williams.
That was the last big one to drop, right?
I think so, yeah. And that's kind of, minus the running back situation, right? But,
right, yeah. Which is a mystery.
Yeah. That just kind of solidifies the fact that we're going to have our starting defensive line back. And yeah, it's really, really good news, obviously, for that defense for next year. And then obviously Trill and Iffy. Obviously, if you get an invite to the NFL Combine, then they think highly of you. I haven't heard anything about Cisco. I'm assuming it's because of the injury. And from everything that I've seen from the Senior Bowl in practice and everything like that, they're saying that Melifonu's got some good grades and that he's been raising some eyes. So, hey, you never know. Never know. As far as signing day, that's Wednesday. I think the one big thing we need to worry about is Jalen Moss, cousin of the Jones brothers, the D tackle there from Fairport, New York. He's the one kind of unsigned commit that didn't sign early signing period, but they said that he's stated his intention to sign and everything should be good. And I know that there's a couple offensive lineman targets in the junior college and the transfer portal that we're waiting on. I believe there's a defensive back too that I think that we offered as well. So we'll see. It's probably not going to be a lot of big news, but hopefully we just get the one that committed, and I don't know, maybe there might be a surprise. So. Yep. And that's how the other thing with the football too is Aaron Hackett transferring to TCU.
That's right.
Which surprised me.
Why?
I just didn't think it was going to be that good of a team.
Oh, really?
He didn't really impress me that much this year.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
Last year he did. This year it just seemed like he was. If they were talking about him, it was because of a mistake or a penalty.
Fair enough. All right, let's take a listen to what Coach had to say after the 76-73 win over NC State.
The first half, we didn't play defense. We just let them get either inside and dunks or foul line, or we gave them wide open looks from the 3-point line. It was probably as bad a defense as we could play. And the second half, they were 0 for 8 from the three because we pressured them, got them off their spots. We made a couple bad offensive mistakes at the end of the game where Allen just kept the ball and they took it instead of hitting the open guy. But Marek went to the foul line, made his 2, and Allen went and made his 2, and that doesn't always happen. We're a good free throw shooting team. We're not getting to the line enough. This is a very difficult team for us to play with. Beverly, Allen are really good shooters. The other guard that came in is a really good shooter. Helms is really good in the high post, and Bates is really good down around the basket. He had 5 dunks in the first half, and I think he just got a couple in the second half. Helms was really good. He made some tough drives, but they were for 2s, and, we didn't give them the 3 looks. That was the difference in the game. The first half they had wide open 3s. They made, 7 of them or no, 6. In the second half they made none. So, that was the difference in the game. Well, Helms, he missed a couple, but he made some tough shots. We wanted that. We covered the shooters so that he couldn't get the dunk. And now Helms and Marek are matched up. And, he should get some help from the forward where the side he drives on, and he didn't. Allen got out of the way. And again, to his credit, Helms made some tough shots there, some really tough shots there. But, Marek's got to get some help on those plays, and, he didn't get it. I thought Joe was aggressive tonight. He's been aggressive in practice. He got good looks. He was 2 for 10, 1 for 5. He really just wasn't hitting them, but he will hit those. It's just like Buddy. Buddy got going tonight and was the difference in the game, making 3s. So those 2 guys one of them or 2 of them have to make shots. I thought the reason he came out the second time is Kadari was so good in the first half that I wanted to see what Kadari could do. In the second, he made a couple big-time plays again. So it's very helpful for us to have we need all 3 of those guards. I'm really sick of people thinking, well, this guy should play that. We need all 3 guys to play and be effective. And we need to find a forward that can help us, and we don't have that. Woody's been a little better in practice. He's been working harder. He gives us more athletic and defensive ability, so he's going to get the call on Wednesday. And I'm hopeful, very hopeful, with 2 good days that Brahma will be back and be able to play on Wednesday.
All right, the coach montage is brought to us by BetOnline. Some good news in there, Joe, and we're going to talk about that. Some other good news that I did see, though, from Nico Tamurian on Twitter was that there's a inkling or some evidence to at least show that there may be fans in the Dome sometime soon. It at least looks like they're setting up for it. There was some what do you want to call socially distanced seating at the Dome that was spotted. So, hey, that's
not something that they said that it wasn't going to happen until it crossed. But cross our fingers.
Really?
You never know.
Really, it seems a little early to be setting it up. I mean, why do that? Why tease us like that? Well, either way, maybe we can get to a basketball game this year in the Dome. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. Maybe we can't. Either way, you can still get in on all the action at BetOnline. BetOnline is going the extra mile to make sure you can get in on everything imaginable this season, from game spreads and totals to team, player, and coach and props. BetOnline gives you more options to wager than any other place online. Head over to BetOnline today. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR to take advantage of all the great sign-up bonuses. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Thank you, BetOnline. Okay, so the good, the bad, the ugly. Joe, a comeback win, and the first this year with Syracuse on the negative end of the boards. They were -2, 37 for 35, 37 to 35. 5 players in double digits for the Orange. Alan Griffin leading the way with a team-high 19 points, adding 6 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 blocks, and 2 clutch free throws. Marek with 2 clutch free throws as well. He totaled 11. 10 for 11 from the line as a team, and without it, it's a possibility. Actually, no. We probably lose that game without those free throws on both 1-and-1s, and they both nailed them, and that was huge. Buddy finished with 17 points, 4 for 8 from 3. Richmond, he played a role in saving this game as well. I mean, what can you say? 14 points in 16 minutes. He needs more of them. Those being minutes and points. What the hell? Syracuse held NC State to only 26 points in the second half. The bad, they allowed 47 points in the first half. Joe was 2 for 10 from the field and totaled 5 points, 1 for 5 from 3 in 25 minutes. It's painfully obvious, and it's all over, obviously, that he needs to improve, and we need him to score or something. Show me something. The Syracuse defense looked awful in the first half of the game with Joe and I talked during the game, 4 defenders up top and a huge gap from the foul line to the basket, leaving Bates wide open and Mark to defend. I don't get it. It stopped, but I don't get it. I'm not sure why they were even doing it. The ugly, still. We see the same problems game to game, and that's the post position. And I know Mark can only do so much, but these guys have a field day with us, and it's in everyone's playbook. They're all going to do it. Manny Bates with 17 points and 14 rebounds and 4 blocks. The only one that seemed to really be able to get by him was Kadari and Alan Griffin on occasion, but Kadari was able, just his length, and with the sweet left-hander there, he did a good job. So, Joe, not to be trite, but an ugly win is better than a pretty loss, as you've heard. And you heard Coach. It's possible we see a little Sidibe this Wednesday, some good news. What are your expectations first on the Sidibe coming back? And then let me get your thoughts on the game.
I just think it's a believe it till I see it, but usually when Jim starts to talk about it is when it's actually true.
Right. Yeah.
So he doesn't really speculate, and he pretty much tells the guys that I'll let you know, right?
Right.
And so he kind of did. Now, I don't expect him to get full minutes, but I do see a situation where this could kind of level off the minutes to be able to get some of these guys a little bit of rest. You see Gerard with 25, which isn't really bad. You figure Buddy should probably get a little bit of burn. Kadari should probably get a little bit more of those minutes. Have Joe run 2 guard, and Kadari, those 3 guards, like.
Sorry. Go.
Like, all right. Like what Coach
Technical
said.
difficulty.
Is that
Go ahead.
all those 3 guards need to play, and they need to be effective for us to win. And obviously Joe and Kadari, they bring different things to the table. So depending on our matchup is really dependent on where you might see a few minutes go here or there. But I think that those minutes need to level off. And honestly, when Sidibe comes back, that's just going to level off all the other minutes too. I mean, you see Dolezaj with 38, Griffin with 39, and Guerrier with 39. You want that to be down in the lower 30s, possibly high 20s, and you bring Sidibe back, and that could level that off a little bit too. So obviously, you can't just talk like we don't understand what the loss of Sidibe is, right? So Mark's played good, and to what Coach said in his presser is he's fighting a war down there by himself, and he's undersized, not a position, and we're doing the best we can, but. Again, as long as we don't get double-digit out-rebounded, like I said, then we usually are in the game. And I know we lost by 2, but, we won still. And everything else was pretty close as far as turnovers and everything like that. Obviously, it was the second half and holding them 26 points. And we ended up shooting a better percentage all around with field goals, free throws, and three-pointers than they did as well. So overall, it was a good win. And, that whole Kadari Joe thing, it's all over the place. And I know that people are just all over it, but you got to play matchups. And if the team's going to play Kadari like Pittsburgh did, like Xavier Johnson did, and just sit there and dare him to shoot a jumper until he proves he's got one, then Joe's going to have to play because that just hurts their offense. So excited for Brahma to be hopefully coming back and being able to kind of help in this area that we know that he's needed.
Yeah, as you heard Coach say, they need all 3 guards. in for what you said, there's some fan feedback, and we can get into that when the time comes. But the Sidibe thing, most of that was not in the fan feedback. We're not going to see much of him on Wednesday. I would just like to see a little bit of him, and just go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not looking. I'm not planning for him to start or anything like that.
Right.
I mean,
just prove to me that you're available and you can go out there and run around.
Yes,
right?
and what a glimmer of hope that would be for us at this point after watching poor Mark freaking in the trenches. He's like the unsung hero, like the equivalent to an offensive lineman in football is Mark just getting pummeled to death every freaking game and coming back, losing teeth, coming back for more. The kid is a freaking warrior. I mean, I'm going to put him up there in that status. I don't remember another one like him in like the modern era, which I would call, I don't know, 2000s to now. I mean, what do you think, Joe? I mean, to fight and just get abused and use his body the way he does constantly is just something you don't get that a lot. Like that's few and far between to get that guy. So
he plays like Hopkins.
Yeah, scrappy as hell. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. That's true. So, and just throwing his body all over the place. This dude hits the floor more than anybody in D1 basketball. I mean, he's
taking
on the
charges.
Oh my gosh, he is so used to getting pummeled that when he's got such a good feel for the court when he's below the rim. Like he covers his head, like he's waiting, like he knows it's coming, and he he does what he
just have a Dolce orange chalk line on the floor.
What, like the old like a crime scene? The crime scene chalk out
all the time.
Yeah, I know. It would be all over the place, and to deal with Helms, who was making good shits the whole game. Yep. Obviously, really difficult for him to be matched up there and not getting any help, as you heard Coach talk about, and it's true. And who he's calling out. We all know who he's calling out. So
we won't.
What's that?
So we won't. Griffin. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to give the props to Mark. I'm really excited about Sidibe to come back, obviously, as well as everybody. I think that's probably, besides the win and getting this win, which is, look, I'll take the win. Obviously, I expected a little bit more, but for Syracuse to go into this game and just get pummeled in the first half. With NC State scoring 47 points. I mean, that was on track to be a real disaster. And, I don't like playing the game either. Well, they were out there 2 stars. What if they had them? We would have gotten totally killed. Well, we don't know. We'll never know.
We don't know that.
We'll never know.
We don't know that. No. And I think part of that was the defense in the beginning. I was thinking about it I think it was more or less just making them prove that they could do something without their 2 big scores, Manny Bates and Helms. I mean, they're pretty good, but with Beverly and all of them, it would make sense if that was like the case. But like we allowed them to, if I were to turn around and say, oh, they played up high to take away the 3-point shot and to try to make the guys down low prove that they could score, but then they didn't stop the 3-point shot and they didn't stop it. So it was just overall awful defense.
Way too much space over there. Down
just
there.
Awful defense.
Yeah.
That's what. And there was some more good news in the presser though too. Did you hear him talk about Woody?
Oh yes, I did. Yeah, let's hit that real quick because that's not in feedback either.
He had Braswell come in for a minute, Jesse Edwards for 2. I mean, these are the guys that he's trying to throw in there to just give a little bit of extra, show something. And I think that it's going to be Newton and Sidibe. So. Just to know that I think Woody, when he said that he was quarantined and, he made it certain, like, I think Woody, out of anybody who's gotten sick or gotten COVID, he probably dealt with it the worst. And I don't know if it was necessarily that he hasn't come out and said it, but Woody was out for a little while with that. And I felt like it was more serious than some of the other ones. I don't know that for sure, but that's just kind of how it felt based upon the comments that I've heard about it. So, he says he's playing better in practice, and obviously he said Sidibe, he's hopeful that he's going to get minutes. So hopefully those two guys are the guys that come in and fill those spots, and we start to see the actual mold of this team come together versus somebody or a team that's missing a key cog.
Yeah, and we were, I was under, he says he gets the call tomorrow or something like that. What I don't know what that meant, but he said
no. He's basically just saying that he's going to get the call. He's going to be the first one to get the call off the bench rather than
Gotcha.
Braswell.
Okay, all right.
Is basically what he's saying.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's kind of what I thought. But we were. I mean, I was under the impression that he was injured for a little while too. Like we didn't, it wasn't clear. So anyway, with that said, it's time to hear from you.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
All right, you guys know what to do at the end of every game. I ask for your thoughts. You give them. We bring them here. We talk about them. By the way, I did get, I wouldn't call it a nasty gram, but I did get a message saying, you use the same guys every time in fan feedback. And, I contribute too. But I really do try to mix it up, but I really do. It is also merit based. I mean,
I don't know who that is. I mean, I get it. I know you want to do top fans and to keep it going, and I get it. I just want to know. I don't know who it is because you didn't tell me. This is the first that I've heard. But if you are listening, I just want to let you know that Sean's the one that picks the fan feedback.
Oh boy! Wow. Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's true. I am the only one that does anything other than show up, pretty much. So anyway,
that's what was in my contract, Sean. You said that.
That's
you
true.
Said that. How many times have you said that?
That's true. I said
just all I do is ask them to show up, right?
Show up and
don't
talk.
Turn around now and get mad about some other stuff I don't do.
Here we are.
Don't backtrack now.
We're in our 5th year into this, and show up and talk is still all I ask. It's literally it. Because even that's a struggle
don't make me
sometimes.
Feel bad if that's all. Okay, all right. Okay.
Our
Gotta
boy,
get the last word.
top fan Zach. Come on, give Zach some love. There we go, crowd. He says, yeah, I need to buy not just one, but 2 of those sets of the Spurtles for $19.99 while supplies last. What do you think, Joe?
I don't know what that means.
You don't get the Spurtle commercial?
No.
You don't? Oh man, that's really too bad. Really?
Now you're gonna make me look it up.
Oh my gosh, the Spurtle is kind of awesome, actually. So, anyways, I'm with you, Zach. I'm with you for real.
What is it? A kitchen utensil?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's a kitchen utensil set, bro. It's a kitchen utensil set, especially if you like let's say smearing peanut butter.
So why can't you just say wooden spoons?
It's a Spurtle, Myrtle. Come on.
Wooden utensils.
Joe is always lagged behind, by the way, so he fast forwards through commercials. And that's probably why. That and Tech Shaver or whatever the hell it is. All right. At Oil Cuse. By the way, it was Oil Cuse pointing out that if we keep rebounds close, no matter what, we win. I'm just going to reiterate that. If we lost, I would have been pissed since NC State was missing 2 stars. We need more Richmond and less of Joe and Buddy. I thought that Bates kid should have fouled out 3 minutes 3 times over. I'm not sure what the deal was with all the no calls for him. Look. I don't remember if I had it in the montage now because I don't even listen to my own montage. But Coach mentioned how they weren't calling some of these fouls. Again, you are full court press, man coverage like that. That Moore dude was all over Joe. Dude, Joe couldn't move anywhere. He had his hands on him. He was checking him on in full court. And I don't know. I don't know. So I'm with you.
All I know is that
Pat.
you always read his comments. That's all.
Dude, that's messed up. That's messed up. He gives me a Christmas card.
Okay.
At one Kev Nash, he's got his top 5 on here. Great way to fight back after a crappy first half. I love the way coach is using the 3-guard rotation. And by the way, first one to really mention it is Kev here. So, I mean, to really mention that, that was before the...
I was hoping you picked this one.
That was before the presser, too, by the way. He's always got good stuff to say. 3, Q and Griffin were huge on the glass. 4, good to see Buddy hitting threes again. 5, go Cuse. Yeah, Buddy, 50% from 3. You think about Buddy, and sometimes he's a silent scorer. Like, I normally follow the box score along with the game. And yesterday I started behind, so I didn't, and then I just didn't bother grabbing a tablet and finishing up with it. But I didn't think Buddy had done as well as he did until I really looked at the box score, and I was like, wow, he actually did an excellent job. 4 for 8 from 3. I don't even need that. Give me 3 for 7 like Alan Griffin did. I'm happy with that.
I'll take 4 for 8.
I mean, I'll take 4 for 8. I'll take 5 for 10.
I don't follow the box score because I like to look at the box score at the end and be surprised.
Okay.
Good try point. To see if the box score matches up with what my eyes saw.
Yeah. Buddy, I gotta admit, Buddy silently surprised me in that game, and I knew he had done good. I really did, but there were some mistakes that he made that were a little frustrating to me, especially kind of towards the end of the game. That kind of erased, I guess, some of that for me. But anyway, the 3-guard rotation, obviously you heard Coach. We mentioned it a little bit. Got to do it, the matchup thing. And on that note, at MF Brightside, there will be games we will need Gerard to stretch the floor, but there will also be games where Kadari is a matchup nightmare for the opposition. Let's recognize the matchup and exploit it. And that's obviously to piggyback off of what Kevin said and to piggyback off of what Coach said in the presser, and probably for people like us, maybe a little bit, not like us specifically, but us who are calling for, Joe's head. Because he's been, when he's been off the ball, though, he's been good.
He has. And I've always said that I don't care who starts. I care about seeing the matchup, seeing how the other team's playing, and making the right adjustments, right? So they could say, he needs more minutes, and maybe in this game he did. But until they came out of the official timeout with 2:33 to go in the first half, Kadari really didn't do anything. And then he had 10 points in the last 2.5 minutes, kept us in the game to where we weren't down 15 going into half, like Coach said. And then he came in the second half. Coach made the right decision and made the right substitution when needed, because, we were still making a comeback with Joe in there. But Kadari came in and he made the specific plays in the second half that pushed it over the edge and I think got us the W, on top of the fact that obviously we made our free throws. But yeah, that's what it's got to be, because there's been plenty of, so like for instance, him putting Kadari in when he did, and him playing how he played could have saved today's game, right? But there's been plenty of games this year where him keeping Joe in and keeping Kadari on the bench has won them games as well. So, to all the people's points that you just alluded to, that's really what it is. You got to be able to look at the stat line, because we could talk about this all day long, and then next game we can come out and Joe could have one of those games where he's shooting lights out, and we're going to kind of be like biting our tongue, like eating crow and all that other stuff. Who's starting really isn't as important as the substitutions and who plays when you have to make those decisions, in-game decisions.
It is fair to say, though, obviously, that Joe needs to improve, and if it's a matchup thing, he's been outmatched quite a bit this year. And
sometimes you're off.
And sometimes
some games he doesn't look out. Like last night, he didn't look outmatched, right? He just wasn't hitting his shots. He had good shots.
They had good. They, like I said, they were really, really like it was like t-shirt defense.
They were, but he didn't make as many mistakes as
Allen.
Possibly a Buddy, but definitely an Allen, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, Joe's judged on, and that's why I've always said he's a shooting guard. Joe's judged on the shots that he makes, and that's it. And if he's not making shots, then fans want him out.
I know.
But the problem is if you can get hot in an instant, and they've seen this over and over again in the offseason and practice, and he just goes unconscious, then what are you supposed to do as a coach?
Oh, you got to play him. I mean, right? So, at Nick Sweetland 1, nice to see them fight and come back. I think it's time Jim Boeheim seriously considers maybe starting Kadari at the point. Defensively, a different team with him out there. Offensively, he drives to the rim and creates opportunities for others. Yeah, again, I mean, solid points. I mean, yeah. I'm with you. Like, that's like exactly kind of what I don't like. You said though on the starting end. I mean, I don't know if it's totally necessary, but Kadari comes in. He takes part in the last 10 minutes, or excuse me, the last 10 points in the last couple minutes of the first half with eight points and an assist. And he just, without him doing what he does there, we're going into halftime possibly down by like 15 or 16 points. Instead, we chopped it to single digits. So
huge.
Oh, absolutely.
It was huge. And again, who starts doesn't matter. You could substitute somebody the first whistle.
Sure.
And then that person cannot play.
What's the first one?
You doesn't have to play.
18?
Well, I mean
14? What is
well,
it?
I mean it's every 4 minutes. So it's 16, 12, 8, gotcha. 4. But there could be a ball that just goes out of bounds or a foul called. Sub out. So who starts doesn't matter. We could start a walk-on. He could be out there for 20 seconds. It doesn't matter. He started. Yay!
Right. Congratulations.
It's all about who's playing in what, again, like I said, what the matchups are. When we played against Pittsburgh, they played Kadari perfectly. And if you're going to play him like that, then it's hard to justify keeping him in there because you're playing 4-on-5 on offense. Or you're just watching Kadari put up jump shots and hoping he makes them. And I don't think coach is willing to watch that yet. So
no, it's not. It's not like Coach said. We've seen we've seen Syracuse lay some bricks, but at the end of the day, the offense hasn't been the glaring issue. It's been the defense.
Right. So, it's been the defense.
We will be right back to finish up fan feedback and go over the Louisville preview right after this. All right, one more thing before we get started. BetOnline. BetOnline, the title sponsor for the Cuse Militia and Armchair Media. BetOnline, going the extra mile to make sure you can get in on everything imaginable this season, from game spreads and totals to team, player, and coach and props. BetOnline gives you more options to wager than any other place online. Head over to betonline.net today. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR to take advantage of all of the great sign-up bonuses. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Go check out all of their Super Bowl props. Got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. Go there, check them out, sign up, use the promo code ARMCHAIR. Thank you, BetOnline. All right, let's continue here with fan feedback with top fan Daryl. Let's hear it. Great win for the Cuse. Joe Jean looked awful again tonight. Richmond really came on in the last 2 minutes of the first half and really took over in the second half. I believe he will continue to cut into Joe's playing time. Still disturbing. We only won by 3 considering NC State was without their 2 best players. On to the next, go Orange. Look, I agree with a little concerning we only won by 3. But is Syracuse going to do it any other way, Joe, than to have a heart attack moment? We haven't had many of these this year. And I guess
we've had them against non-conference opponents.
Okay, well, it's been long enough to where I don't really remember. But you're right. Bryant was one for sure. Ryder was touch and go there for a little bit.
Buffalo,
that's right. That one went in overtime, right? One of them did, didn't it?
I'm not quite sure.
I'm not quite sure either. So why'd I say it? I don't know. So
no idea.
Yeah, but
Northeastern and Buffalo were close. So
okay.
Northeastern was also close. That was 62-56.
Any of them overtime? Was that wrong?
Bryant 85-84 in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first game
Buffalo was overtime.
Oh, Buffalo was overtime. So I remembered rightly.
Wow, good job.
Wow, what a memory. What a memory.
Yeah, again, it's hard to judge that because it's still obviously they're Division I scholarship players. It's not like we're going to be Boston College against Florida State here coming up tomorrow or whenever they're playing. And they only have 4 scholarship players. They're going to be playing scout players and walk-ons against the 20th ranked team in the country. It's tough when a team loses that many shots because Funderburk and Devin Daniels were the 2 leading.
Yeah, what were they combining average? I mean, just say on paper you were losing what, 20? You were
28 points, just on average. But like when I went over the shots attempted for the team for the year, like Devin Daniels was at like 168. I think Funderburk was at 110, and the next closest one I think was Helms at 81. So when you lose that, and then it's the first game after, I mean, yeah, Kevin Keats is his philosophy and how he likes to coach and what they're going to do, but then you never know how that's going to change, and you don't know how that team, obviously people got to step up. Where the shot's going to come from? Are they going to change anything? We didn't have any tape to go off of, and I thought that Keats had a pretty good game plan to come out and kind of keep it similar to what he was doing, but also make it different. And they played the zone. They played against the zone very well against the first half, albeit it might have just been our defense and not them just trying to figure it out. But I feel like once we figured out where the shots were coming from, it was a lot easier to shift and move that defense, and that's why you saw that 26-point second half showing of them. Yeah, and
no threes either. You heard Coach say.
Yeah, no threes, and I predict that now that. I mean, I don't know DJ Funderburk's his situation and how long he's going to be sitting out. So I know that it was university policies why he didn't play. Mm-hmm. But without those two, I can, especially if Funderburk doesn't play because obviously Daniels is gone. But I see this team hitting a lull here as soon as some teams get some tape and they realize the capable people to come step up and take those shots, then it's going to make it easier to take those shots away or defend those shots. And I really see NC State having a tough time scoring. And, like I said, I kind of feel bad because I'd hate for it to happen to us. I think we've seen it happen with players before, but
I think we know. I think we know what teams are gathering on us. I mean, it's just until Sidibe comes back, it's glaringly obvious. So, and teams have exploited it the best they could.
But Sidibe's not our go-to scorer and our team leader, right?
But no, you're absolutely right. So on the offensive end for them, that's true. Yeah, because he's going to help us, where he can, when he can, with the rebounding effort and things like that. So, and obviously fouls.
Rebounding and defense.
Yeah. So, right, let's hear Mahir, top fan on Facebook. Gutsy, gritty win. If you have me buy, sell, or hold on Marek at the line with the game on the line, in the closing seconds at the beginning of the year, I would have sold, but his improvement at the line has been incredible. This is a good win. Keats was an assistant under Patino at Louisville, so it doesn't surprise me that he has beaten Cuse the last 3 years. Oh, and Kadari Cooks was cooking. This is a good win. Yeah, Keats has had our number. We stopped the 3-game skid that Syracuse was on, as far as NC State goes, and that was kind of nice to see. And I think we pulled ahead +2 in the all-time series. So Marek at the line, I can't remember what he did last year. I don't have it pulled up, unfortunately, but he's been okay. But if you will you stop hitting your microphone?
Sorry.
My gosh, man. If you would have told me, though, that Mark was going to hit both on a 1-and-1 and Griffin was going to hit both on a 1-and-1 to pretty much seal that game before a horrible foul by Quincy. Just totally unnecessary and ridiculous on a missed 3. If you'd have told me they would have went 4 for 4 between those two on those, I don't know if I would have bought that. I would have sold that. But
no, I thought last year we were a pretty good free throw shooting team.
We were pretty good, but we are really good this year. And you heard Coach say, and not to be whatever, but we've said it here. We've been saying it. They got to get to the line. It's a good free throw shooting team. They got to get to the line more. And it's nice that Coach listens to the show and reiterates our points. I appreciate that.
But they have 11 attempts.
10 for 11, yeah. Yep. Need more. But, I mean, we battled the ACC whistle, too. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not crying about it, but we battle it. We battle it a little bit.
Kind of sounds like you're
I know. It sounds like I'm whining about it, but
if you weren't crying, you wouldn't have brought it up. Just saying.
That's facts. That's facts. I'm a little salty about it.
Look, but hey, that doesn't mean that what you said isn't facts.
Right.
I'm just calling you out.
That's fine. Mark, on Facebook, why does Jimmy B wear that clear face mask and wears it on his chin after he had COVID-19? I don't know, but this is the question of the day. The clear face mask thing is great, okay? And he doesn't wear the damn thing. It's a freaking ornament. It's an ornament. It is here. I'm just have this around my neck so I don't get fined. That's what that is. That's what it is.
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. If I had it already, then I wouldn't want to wear it either.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I had it.
I got I mean, I asked my director at work. I said, hey, if I go get the vaccination, do I still have to wear the mask at work? They said, yeah. And I'm
President
like, okay,
Fauci says yes. President Fauci says yes.
Well, 2 of them, right?
Two of them. Well, why not 3? Well, 3 gets you up to 90% effectiveness. Yeah, but 3 gets me no oxygen. 2 gets me no oxygen. I barely get enough oxygen with 1. Okay?
No,
why not
Joe,
6?
That's not important.
Why not 6, Joe? How about 10? Can we put 10 on our face?
I mean,
Let's make it mandatory.
You look ridiculous.
Let's make it mandatory. Let's just do 10 and be done with it. Jesse, top fan on Facebook. My attempt at putting how good Kadari is into context, there have been 2 first-round point guard picks in the past 10 years. Michael Carter-Williams was picked 11th his sophomore year. He shot 10% lower from the field, averaged 2 more boards, 4 more assists, 1.6 more steals, 5 points, and a quarter less blocks, all while playing 14.4 minutes a game. I did the math. If Richmond averaged Michael Carter-Williams' playtime, he would lead in every category except assists and would have averaged 2 less. Not saying he's as good as Michael Carter-Williams, but he's putting up very similar numbers with 1 year less experience than the former Rookie of the Year. That's interesting. That's a lot of legwork. I'm interested to know what the hell Jesse does for a living. Is he a number cruncher? Because I like that. That's what I'm looking for.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good,
That's
right?
pretty good.
I would have never even thought about that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You always read his stuff, but that's pretty good. If you're gonna put that much time, into it, and you're gonna give us numbers so we don't have to do it, oh man, I appreciate that for sure.
Oh man,
no, that's interesting. And obviously, when you look at his numbers and what he does, and I think that's where all this comes from for the fans is that he comes in and he does what he does, and they just think, okay, he just did that in 16 minutes. What if he had Joe's minutes? What if he had 25 minutes, another 9 minutes?
I think he needs 25. I like that number, 25 to 30. That's what I like.
I'm cool with it.
Right?
But again, I think you have to balance it out between the 3 guards and between obviously the mismatches and stuff like that. Because I can see a situation where Kadari should only play 10, 15 minutes if the team's going to play defense like Pittsburgh did. Because until you can hit a jumper at a decent pace, like they're just gonna give it to you.
Right. And
he was falling right into the trap. So, again, it's all matchup based. Every team is different. Every game is different, and we just should be lucky enough that we have the option to be able to switch it up versus being stuck like last year with just or the previous however many years. We were always stuck with, no matter what happens, these are the guys we have. And now we actually have options. And, with different matchups, that's where you use your options because they can still go in and play like a starter. So I'm happy for that. I don't care who starts.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. I don't care either. And you know what? You made me not care. You coaxed me into that train of thought. All right. Now for the guy who called complaining or wrote complaining. Top fan Joe P on Facebook. Okay, Joe, I'll read your comment, all right?
Oh, God.
I'm playing. It's not him. Kadari needs more minutes. JG3 needs to be the spark off the bench. Why not blow the game after Cuse? Oh, why not blow the game after Cuse dumb foul? Love that free throws aren't our Achilles heel. Keep rolling on to the next one. Go Cuse. Yeah, like I said at the beginning in the good, bad, and ugly, like without those free throws, and you can tack on all 10 of them that were made, we might not win that game. So, dumb foul by Quincy, and you know he had a couple of them actually, which made me a little nervous. But when Quincy went out shortly after that, I was thinking, if this goes into overtime, now Bates is out, I think we take it in overtime. In that, I think was the worst case scenario from my perspective. That's just me. So
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Thank you to all of you for participating in that. We appreciate it. I know there's an imposter out there asking for thoughts on the game, but this is the real thoughts on the game. We started that
Is there?
here. Yeah, there is. We started that here, so you know where to go. You guys know where to go. I trust you. Syracuse will host Louisville this Wednesday in the Dome. Louisville with a very quick turnaround after playing a makeup game against Georgia Tech this afternoon. A 74-58 win for the Cardinals. David Johnson had 24 points, went 6 for 11 from 3. Samuel Williamson had 20 points and 18 boards. That's a 6'7" center. By the way, just for the record there. The all-time series sits at 19-10 in favor of the Cardinals. The Orange will try to redeem themselves from last year's 90-66 loss against Louisville. Hughes with 25 points and Girard with 22 points in that loss. Syracuse was 4 for 9 versus Louisville in the Big East. The two teams met twice in the Big East tournament, both times in the finals, and both times the Cardinals came out on top. No longer in the top 25, Joe, after the loss to Clemson. They were ranked 39th according to Ken Pom and 45th in the net. That makes this a quad 2 game. So, Joe, it's going to be a quick turnaround for Louisville. What can we expect? We've got a Radford transfer, Carlake Jones, who's 6'1", 185. He's leading the team in scoring with 17.8 points. And, they're not huge. That's why I'm not like super anxious about this game, especially with the turnaround. What do you think?
Well, it's weird because when you look at their team, I mean, I look at their team and they have when you look at their starting Dre Davis starting center, he's a freshman, 6'5", 220 pounds. So I don't know if like ESPN has this wrong or if he's really just a guard, but they have center. But and they have another Samuel Williamson, who he played 30 minutes and had 20 points and 18 rebounds today, and he is listed at 6'7", 210.
I said all this already. If you were listening.
I'm sorry, but I'm just letting you know it's kind of weird that these guys have a 6'5" and a 6'7" guy listed as
centers.
Centers is long, along with Gabe Wisnitzer, who's a 6'11", 240-pound freshman. So I don't see. I mean, if they're listed as a center, then they can go down there and they can bang, and there's a reason for it. They kind of move their substitutions and who they play more minutes based upon the team. And I do see kind of when you look at the box score and some of these bigger guys, they're probably going to be playing more against us versus Minland or Trainer or some of these guys that they throw in when they play against 3-guard teams. So you got those guys that kind of substitute for the starters, Quinn Slazinski and Jalen Withers, who are 6'8" and 6'7" respectively as far as forwards go. And really the scoring, just like today, obviously Williamson had a day, but David Johnson and Carly Jones, those are the guys. Those guys got 37 shots today. And that's going to be what they're going to do for us. I kind of like our matchup because other than Williamson, from what I see, nobody can really score down low. You take away Williamson, Johnson, and Jones today, and their team scored 18 points out of the 74. So
Be
you
a
know
really
who you
good-
got to guard.
A really
What's that?
good, be a really actually pretty decent soft intro back in for Sidibe in a way.
Yeah, in a way that yes, in a way it would, and we'd be able to see what we have. Obviously, David Johnson went 6 of 11 from 3 today. Carlick Jones, I know he can hit them too, but he went 0 for 4 in 5 of 17 today. So he had a bad day, so he's probably going to want to make up for that. And he's really the guy. He's the only senior. I think he's really the only guy that's above a junior on their team that plays. So it's a really young team. But he was a transfer from Radford who's averaged 20 points a game last year, and that's kind of the guy they rely on to make the plays. And Johnson just looks like a spot-up shooter. But he did have 10 rebounds as well. So those were really the guys. And even when I look at the matchup predictor on ESPN, I think they have like us as a 67 or 69% chance of winning the game. So I always never really understand that because it looks to me like Louisville is a better team.
Yeah, but they're not. But look. So the AP. Oh crap! I threw out my sheet. The AP, has had them recently in the top 25. But Ken Pom. I mean, I feel like Ken Pom that's an actual like real formula. It's not just people. It's not just people watching games or whatever and voting on stuff.
Right.
So to me, it's more of an accurate depiction of what these teams are, and they're 47th in Ken Pom.
Yeah.
And
right there with us.
Yeah, we're 39th. I'm sorry, they're 39th. We're 47th. Excuse me. So yeah, statistically speaking, using Ken Pom's formula, they are a little bit better of a team. I think it's because of the way they can score. I mean, these guys can score, dude. This Jones,
Louisville?
Yeah.
Well, they can score, but their defense is ranked better than their offense. As far as our offense in Ken Pom is ranked higher, as far as offensive efficiency is ranked higher than Louisville's. It's
crazy because they are averaging 37 rebounds a game too right now. So that's quite a bit.
Yeah, well, when I looked at Ken Pom, when I look at their team, to me, it's a lot of the wins, they're more of a defensive team to me. They're more of a defensive rebounding team. And we're going to make it really, really hard for you to score because it's really not that easy for us too.
So it's going to be the matchup is where it's kind of really, honestly, where we want it. Really,
it is where we want it because I mean, if it was me, you have the two guards, Jones and Johnson, and you just got to take them out of their game. You got to stop them from being able to penetrate and kick, and take them off their spots on the 3-point line. And obviously, Williamson had a huge game. He scored 20 points, and he still only averages 8.8 for the season this year. So obviously, he's a guy that's getting going and starting to carve out a role on that team. Especially, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him as a starter come. When's it? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
tomorrow's Tuesday.
I mean, hey, you go 20 and 18. And then the starter only played 16 minutes. Then you're probably going to start. But maybe that's a situation like Kadari and Joe where they wait and see. But those really are the guys you got to worry about. You want to try to make those big guys score, which is weird to say. But
they are fourth in the ACC right now. And I mean, they got a good record.
Oh, yeah. No, they have a good record, yes. And
I mean, they've beat Virginia Tech. They beat Kentucky. They've beat Pitt.
Yeah, but I look at their big guys, and their big guys don't. I don't know.
They beat Duke. So
I mean, I don't even know if their big guys equal a Helms and Bates. When I really, really look at the team, and really what makes the team go is their guards. And obviously, when you look at the box score today and you watch the game today, you'd think that Williamson guy is an animal, but he didn't even start the game, right?
Still played 30 minutes?
Played 30 minutes. He's averaging 27 for the year, but yeah, I mean, on paper when I look at them, I mean, I looked at their team and I look at their record and they were top 25, but I haven't really got to watch them that much this year.
I haven't either. It's always tough.
But when you look at it, as far as when you look at their box scores and their stats and their lineup and their team and everything, I mean, you pretty much have a bunch of people that are sophomores or younger, and Carlick Jones, who's the transfer senior, good at Radford, but this is your first year with these players as well. So to me, this is a team that's going to be better by the end of the year. And I know that we're kind of getting there, but don't really know. Obviously, they're beatable, right? They just lost to Clemson this weekend.
They lost. They got. I'm sorry. That wasn't the game where Clemson smoked someone. It was close. It was 54-50. So they beat Duke. That was the game I watched. And I think it was the only game I watched. And, they're a decent team, man. We're going to have to see. I think it's going to be high scoring. Yeah. I'm going to give my prediction. You going to give a prediction?
Well, they're a decent. I'm not trying to down.
No. I know you're
it's
not.
Just I don't think it's the Louisville of old that it's not our.
Yeah, no. This team is like.
It's not our father's.
This is almost a totally different team.
Yeah.
Than what we've seen in the past couple of years.
When you got a bunch of sophomore and freshmen relying on a transfer guard.
Yeah. They got a Band-Aid this year because without them.
So this is probably going to be a lot of these players' first look at our 2-3 zone and how to even deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
good point.
You don't really know. If I had to go a prediction, I'm not going to throw a score out there, but I think we get the W.
Okay. All right. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Well, my prediction on the last game was, by the way, 72-69. It was a 3-point differential. I had that right. I said
you did. That's actually pretty close.
It's really close, right? It's not
that
bad.
Makes you want to guess again, huh?
Yes, it does. It does. Until I go off the rails, completely, I will continue. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Syracuse is going to be able to get inside. I think that should be their game. I think that should be their focus. But I think they're going to shoot a high percentage, Syracuse. I think they're going to take advantage of that. And I'm going to say 84-78. Wow. 84-78 is my guess.
See, I don't see that game. I don't see it going that way.
You don't see it going that way, okay.
I can see the gap or the difference, but I don't.
You don't think it's going to be high scoring?
Nah. Mm-mm. No, I think Louisville's defense. I just think that's what keeps them in games. Unless they completely fall apart or there's some ridiculous, or we just go hot and make everything, or there's a ridiculous mismatch. Like Louisville's going to play hard. They're going to play pressure, and they're going to hit the boards. Don't know what we're going to see out of Sidibe or Newton. So I still see this game being kind of similar actually to what if I had to guess. If I had to guess, I'd say probably in the 60s, 68, 62. There you go. I didn't say I was going to get a score, and you got it out of me. There you go.
Hold on, 68, 62. Okay, I actually like your train of thought. I do, and I said what 76. No,
I'm sorry. 78 to 84.
84 to 78.
No. Okay.
Well, that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, that's it. One thing I did notice, I thought I would there has been less postponed or canceled games here lately. Cross my fingers, knock on wood, whatever your superstition is. But
has there been?
It seems to be. I know that they just had one postponed. I say that. They had one postponed against Boston College on the 30th. But
no, Boston College.
Yeah. So, and they made up the Georgia.
Bad for them.
Yeah, they made up the Georgia Tech one. But it just feels like they've been playing a lot of basketball. They've been getting these games off and doing a really good job with it. So, hopefully, hopefully that continues. So,
yeah. Hey, by the way,
yes.
women's team tomorrow. They're on a 2-game win streak. They play at Georgia Tech 7:00.
Nice. By the way, too, we play Louisville again in 2 weeks at Louisville. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, anyways, we got to play them twice. So let's see what we got and go from there. I appreciate everybody for listening and joining us today. We love you guys. Appreciate it so much. Thanks for the fan feedback.
Yes.
Always fun to do, and I enjoy it. Love the thoughtfulness put into that. Thank you, Bet Online. Thank you, Armchair Media. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.